Good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to see each other again in another episode of the Teaching Tidbits series. We are very excited to have with us three of our own students from Hostos Community College. We're very happy to have you, and then I will give you in a couple of seconds. I'm gonna give you the opportunity to let us know who you are and tell us a little bit about yourselves. And for us, it's been a pleasure to have this space to have conversations about what has happened throughout this period of transition, period of change, and we wanted to make sure that we have a conversation with our students and learn from how they have faced all of these processes. So I'm going to start by inviting Ashanti to let us know about yourself. Tell us, what is your major? Anything that you want to share with us. Shanti, welcome.
Thank you. So, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ashanti Malcolm, and I am a dental hygienist student at Hostos Community College. And there has been a lot of talk about online learning becoming the new normal. So, I would like to talk about some of the things that I have gone through in my own learning experiences. I have taken 2 semesters completely virtual, uh, a combination of both synchronous and asynchronous classes. And in that time, I've also opened my own business, the Retreat Team.
Thank you for sharing, and we're gonna learn more throughout this conversation from Ashanti. Let's hear from Suprina.
Hi, my name is Sabrina Frazier. My major is criminal justice. This is my second semester, so I'm kind of doing hybrid. Um, I personally want to do more online. I'm going to share my experience as far as taking a break from school and then coming back to everything being completely online.
Thank you, Suprina, and last but not least, let's hear from Joshua.
Hey guys, my name is Joshua Fonseca, and my major is liberal arts and sciences. And this is my second year, and I did take my first year online, and now I'm taking all my classes in person. And I just want to talk about basically everything I've learned and maybe help somebody out.
Excellent. Thank you, Joshua. And as we have our students who are in different majors, and we're going to have an opportunity to have another deeper conversations, and you're going to learn more about how this experience has been for all of you. So we're going to start with the first question for all of you, and then we're going to be rotating so that you don't feel that I'm pushing one person first. Um, what helped you move forward in this process, and as you were facing this period of change, what did you learn about yourself? Let's start with for the first part. Let's start with Suprina.
Um, what pushed me forward? I guess I'm gonna start with what I learned about myself is that I can actually do it. Like I said, I took a break, a very long break from school. So when I was back in the day when I was in school, everything was in person. So my biggest fear was the remote learning. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do it. And but once I started, I realized it wasn't that bad. It was actually easier to do it remotely than to actually be in person. So actually, I prefer remote learning than in person now.
Interesting. Let's hear from Joshua.
First off, I would have to give it to my professors because they got me through everything. They're always here for me, and any questions I have, I could ask them. And something I learned about myself is, something I learned about myself is I have like bad time management. So I have to learn to, manage my time better and put some time out for certain things and have that time strictly for those things that I have to do.
And then, as we're having this conversation, some of those tips are popping up, right, to our fellow classmates and students to, to keep that in mind and apply. Great. Let's hear from Ashanti.
So I would say something that helped me move forward was continuously, like Joshua said, reaching out to my professors and administrators. Because just like what Sabrina said, I had a bit of a challenge when I was transitioning into remote learning. I thought that I would not do that well, but I actually did well. So that was something that I did learn about myself, as well as learning that my learning style was different. I had a different learning style than what I actually thought I had.
Do you want to share a little bit about more about how that learning style was before and then what was the after?
Sure. So usually when we're in high school, middle school, we're learning about certain learning styles, whether we're visual learners or we need, like, if we're able to read and that's our learning style. But some people have combinations as well. But for me, I found out that I was actually not a visual learner, which is what I thought I was. I'm not really that hands-on. My hands-on is the book. I need to be reading. So that is something that I learned was different.
Great, and this is also giving you an opportunity to kind of look look at ourselves and reflect on what is happening. Let's move on to the second question, and just as continuity, let's hear from Ashanti. What were the things that held you back?
So some of the things that held me back was actually setting a study break. So I know it may seem like minuscule, but having that time in between where I am just like, okay, this is what I know, and maybe I'm watching a television show and I'm relating the information to the television show. That's another learning part. So having that time set up inside of my schedule is very important. And that's what something that held me back because I did not.
Okay, let's hear from Joshua.
By the way, I have to say I totally agree, Ashanti. Like that is a time where you could just reflect on everything. It's great. And something that held me back would probably be like my pets at home. Like online learning, my pets, they're always barking since they hear my voice and trying to distract me, and they want to have fun. But yeah, I guess just the environment I was in kind of distracted me a little bit. It held me back.
Let's see. Let's hear from Sabrina.
Um, I agree with Joshua. Definitely the pets. Um, my dog, as soon as I'm on speakerphone or anything, he hear another voice, he needs to see or be in my face, and so the actual being in class part of remote learning is very hard for me. I actually like the asynchronous, so they could just tell me my assignments. I could just get it done because when I'm doing Zoom and things like that, it's just like he has to be a part of it. So that kind of holds me back. And yeah, time management sort of because I just like a TV show is on or I just want to do something else, something like oh I need to clean or just random things, just time management. But I forgot to bring it with me today. But my planner is my best friend. That is definitely what keeps me going forward.
Excellent, excellent tips. And for our fellow students, just start taking notes. on the different tips that we're sharing. Let's let's go for the next question. I'm going to ask Suprina now this time. Um, you already mentioned some of this, but what were the things that you had to do different? Or you were in fully online mode taking courses, and how did these experiences inform you on what to do next?
Um, what did I have to do different was mm, I don't know. I don't know.
I've learned and maybe help somebody out.
Um, uh, I don't know. I basically I really had to learn how to seriously manage my time. I think that's my biggest thing. I had to learn to do different because I've always been a person where when I want to do something right then and there, that's what I'm going to do, regardless of whatever else is going on. And then I'll just come back to it. I'm sort of a bit of a procrastinator. So um, I had to learn how to do that differently, especially with async in this class. When something is due, something is due. There is no, oh, I'm going to do it later. If it don't get done, then your assignment is late, you lose points. And that was my big thing because of me being a bit of a procrastinator. So that's what I had to do different.
Good. That reflection moment keeps popping up. Um, let's hear from Ashanti.
So I was actually listening to both Joshua and Sabrina, and I think that it's important that I say it as well because I actually was thinking that that is something that I wanted to bring up. So I do want to elaborate on that. It's time management is very important, especially for me. That is something that I had to do differently. I had to actually buy myself a planner. I had to go out and stop. I would say stop being on my phone and stop doing things that did not correlate with certain things that had to help me get better inside of school, whether that be going to the library or going outside for a walk just to clear my mind. I had to like set time so that I would be able to do these things. And then after that, I would also have a set schedule so that I'll be able to complete my work and things like that. Just, it really helped me to, make those informed decisions. So that's something that's very important.
Great. Joshua.
Something I had to do different was since I had all this extra time, since it's in person, since it's online classes, and I didn't have to make a long transit to school. With this extra time, I took like time to stretch or like kind of do a little meditation session, and that really helped me out with schooling. And I guess like Ashanti and Sabrina said, it's like make time for the things that are important, and take the phone away. You Mhm.
Great. It's great. You're already given some tips of the things that you are reflecting on, the things that were not working before, and then it became more apparent and clear. Um, Besides those tips, any other tips that you have identified that you would like to, you know, share with your fellow students to acclimate this new normal?
Yeah, so I have two that I wrote down over here, and one we kind of went over was focusing on goals and limit distractions. So like dogs and like TV time or things like that. Try to have a good focus. And another one is having good etiquette. It's don't like talk over people, and try to like work on ideas instead of like turning them down, or just be respectful of the teacher's time. If the teacher's talking, pay attention to the teacher. And if you have good etiquette, you have the world. That's what somebody told me before. Mhm.
Great, excellent. Thank you for those feedbacks. And remember, this is being broadcasted live in the different social media platforms, which means that this video is available not just for Hostos, but is available for beyond Hostos. And then, we hope that students would relate to these experiences and take note on the different tips that we're sharing. Great. Let's hear from Suprina.
Well, I mentioned it earlier, a planner. That is the best thing that can help you with everything. Schooling, outside life, work, children if you have them, a planner. And I have about three or four of them. I have a planner for everything. Everything gets written down in my plan. I have a plan I bring with me. I have a plan that I have for work. I have a planner for school. I have a planner that literally just stays on my bed. I don't do anything without it. So I think that's the biggest thing that can help you.
Great, great. Thank you, Suprina. Um, Ashanti.
So one of the things that I would like to recommend, one of the tips is actually, like Sabrina said, a planner. But to build on that was actually to make sure that you inside that planner you set out break times. Not only that, you set out like every single thing that you do so you can have a better understanding of where your time is going because that's very important when you're trying to do anything, when you're being a student, personal life. So it's something that's very important, as well as I would say, I know this is something that may seem cliche, but nervousness or being hesitant to reach out to your administrators, your professors, they're here to help you. So you want to do those, take advantage of those people that do want to help you, no matter what. So that's it.
Excellent, excellent. We heard a variety of tips on the things that have come out of reflection, right? Out of reflection on how you have been facing change and in these shifts. As we somehow we're either getting accustomed to this new reality, right? Or as we start imagining on how this new normal would be, right? So, the next question for you is, how do you imagine this new normal to be? We've gone through so much, we've been exposed to so much. How everything that has happened, how would you say the new normal should be, would be, or would you like to be?
Well, I would like to say that I imagine this new normal to be a great step in the right direction because it keeps up with the times as well as it teaches aspects of like online web things that we would need to utilize inside of the future. So it's not something that we're only going to be using when in class. This is a part of our world. This is a part of something that's not only inside of school academically, but it is inside of our personal lives. It's also how business works. So in understanding these small elements, we will go far. It's another learning element inside of online school.
Excellent, great tip. Let's hear from Sabrina.
Yes, I agree with Ashanti. Definitely, we have to get more of the remote learning or computer classes for people of all ages because when this happened and everything shut down, everything went online. Yes, young people, even them, they struggled, but we realized the older folks didn't. They had to get accustomed to using laptops and iPads and things like that. So we definitely have to get more lessons out there for everyone because, like she said, this is a part of our life. And even though it has been for a while, we just realized that not everybody what knew how to use the internet and things like that. So I would like things to go back to normal, besides the remote learning. But um, here we are. So we just gotta make do with what we got.
Thank you, Sabrina, for those words. Joshua.
Um, I imagine this new normal, the online normal, to be kind of a good opportunity because we're all online and everything is online nowadays, and a ton of definitions and resources are there, for your, disposal. Whatever you want, you could take, and I think it's great. hmm A lot of opportunities out there.
Great. And here comes a bonus question. This was not in the questions that we have, but I wanted to um, ask in this conversation that we had, right? You mentioned that a key component to help you succeeding through this process were your faculty, your teachers, right, your instructors, and then there are different perspectives of how we see, right? So we are working hard to make sure that then we are able to provide um, an approach to teach the courses, and then there is the other approach or the other challenges from the other side from our students, right? If you had to share a couple of tips to your faculty, right, what would those tips be in helping you to continue advancing in this, through this, not just through this process, but just in your paths?
I'd say organization. Um, some teachers, they like to post a lot, and it's kind of hard to be scrolling through all the announcements. So with just organization, it would be good, having things in folders, especially like for what we're learning for each chapter, or yeah, organization, I'd say, is a big one for me.
Great, great. Let's keep thinking about other tips, and we'll get back to any other tips. Sabrina, what would you say?
Well, I must say so far the teachers that I've had online, they were pretty organized for the most part. I haven't had no problems there. But I would say I know they have their own lives outside of teaching, but I think getting the grades back a little bit faster, because sometimes um, we send in our assignments on time, and it's maybe like 2 weeks later we're still waiting for like a grade as far as that. And from speaking to other students, they've said that a lot of the teachers don't respond to emails very quickly. So that's something that I think teachers could work on, responding to emails, especially online classes. If that's your only source of communication with your students, then I think you would have to respond back. I'm not saying, within 5 minutes, but by day three, like, okay, can I hear something from you? So yeah, I
Mm,
think that's something teachers could work on.
great, great tips. Ashanti.
My tip, it's actually something that I heard when I was inside of a workshop, and I can't remember who said it. I really want to give them credit, but it was preparatory classes. A lot of people, they come into school. This is online learning, so like Sabrina had said before, a lot of people are not educated that well or that fluent in understanding how to use certain applications on the internet or inside of their phone. So a preparatory class for some of those people, or just in general before they get into the class, I think would be a good idea. Maybe if it's even optional, that would be okay, but something like that.
Great, great. Yeah, great tips from everybody. And before we
Oh, wait,
we
real
go,
quick.
go
Ashanti,
ahead.
the one you was talking about, her name was Kim. Kim Lloyd. That's who said it. Because I
Kim,
remember
oh,
I was there in that workshop. I remember she said that.
okay,
You have
thank you.
you
You're
have to
welcome.
make sure that you let Kim, was that Kim,
Yes.
Yes.
to watch the video, so then he knows that he get credit. Um, the last piece before we conclude, any tips that or any piece of advice that you would like to share with your fellow students in what are the things that they will want to focus on to continue through their paths? Since we have Suprina, we could start with Suprina.
Can you repeat the question?
So what piece of advice would you share with your fellow students and say, focus on this, focus on that. What strategy would you want to share with them? Any piece of advice?
Well, one tip, and I must be honest, I'm sort of struggling with it, but I'm working on it, is don't try to do 5 classes in one day. Focus on one class for that day and get your work done with that one class. On the next day, maybe take a break, and then on the third day, work on another class. But like I said, I'm struggling it with myself. So I try to tell myself this every day. So I definitely want students to do that. Don't try to do math, science, psychology all on Monday and thinking you're going to get all of it done, because one class is just going to suffer. So just focus on one class on one day. Then next day, focus on another class. And then you'll realize you can get more accomplished and more done by doing it that way.
Perfect. Great tip. Great tip. Ashanti.
So I want to add on what Sabrina said now and earlier. Get a planner, get a planner, get a planner. That's like the literally the most important thing. Get a planner, and you will be able and using it, and you will literally be able to do just that. You'll be able to write down what you need to do when you need to do it, and you'll be able to see sometimes these goals that you put for yourself, or sometimes things that you have to do, may not be attainable within that time. So you can spread it out. You can let people know maybe this is not going to be done at this time, or I need more time for this. Definitely be vocal within your class. Be vocal even to the students inside of the class. Even if you never met them before, is a great thing to have that group chat. A lot of information inside there, a lot of ideas. So don't miss out.
Great tips. Again, Joshua. So you're on mute. Let's see. Let me see. Can you're on mute? Let's unmute it and then go.
Okay,
Great.
sorry. I was a little nervous there, but so what I like to do is get post-its and write down like what I have to do on the post-its. It's kind of like my journal, and especially for assignments, you probably have like 6 assignments a week that are due, maybe more, maybe less, but I like to put a box on before the assignment and then write down the assignment, and then when I'm done, check off the box. And by the end of the week, I throw that post-it away and get a new one. And also communicate with your friends, make friends and communicate with them because they're going to be there to help you and they're going to need help as well.
Great. Great. And there is also the opportunity of all of the resources. Some of you mentioned about the resources that institution offers, right? You have advisors, you have coaches, you have uh, support services, you have opportunities for extracurricular activities as well, and some of those are the ones that you're engaged in, right? Student Leadership Academy, which, by the way, I want to thank them for connecting us with you and with other students in taking advantage of those support services is key. All right, you're not alone on this, and you, as Ashanti say, just be vocal, right? Just share about the needs that you have. Talk to your instructors, right? Have a conversation with them, and then they will be able to, relate, have a conversation, help you find the need that you would need. And the whole idea is that we work together for you to be able to succeed, right? And with these conversations, um, um, I'm going to be thanking you again. It's been a pleasure for me to have this space and share with you, great tips, great conversations. We're going to continue sharing this video throughout, and share with your classmates. This video is posted in the main social media pages as well as in our Center for Teaching and Learning website. And we're going to be seeing you soon when we come back to another episode of Teaching Tidbits. Thank you, everybody.